Sweet Baby Inc., the corporation that, in their own words, is dedicated to ruining the gaming industry, has fired the person who tried to unperson and destroy the guy who made the DEI-detected website because they didn't want us to be aware of their evil, shadowy activities. And a list of SBI games to gamers is like kryptonite to Superman. If someone put a list of your works in the open for millions to see, that is a huge PR chance. Corporations pay hundreds of millions for this sort of advertising. If your audience was even a moderate niche, SBI should have worshipped the ground of DEI detected for this chance. However, evil and worthless corporations like SBI decided to become the enemies of all gamers, going after the very livelihoods of people who disagree with them. So instead of flaunting their attention, they started Gamergate 2. It is important to always remember they spent over a decade blacklisting people, going after their families, doxing, harassing, lying about, ruining the reputations and livelihoods of everyone they hate. They go after YouTube and Twitch channels, even phone up people's workplaces to spread lies. Keep this clear. These are not simply people you disagree with. SBA is not just people who have an opinion that is different from you on a certain topic. This is not a matter of speech or freedom. The woke maliciously caused irreparable damage to the lives and careers of thousands of people in the entertainment industry. There is a difference between believing in freedom of speech and trying to ruin someone's personal life. I bring attention to this because they do not believe this is different. To them, words are violence, disagreement is assault, and they want you arrested or cleansed if you say you dislike any game centered on their belief system. You want everyone to be able to speak their mind, even if you disagree. They want you permanently silenced if you ever say a thing they disagree with. And they will, and always have, taken hostile action to accomplish this. That is cancel culture. That is using intimidation and force to create obedience and silence out of terror. That is SBI. SBI got Streisand into the limelight and picked one of their employees to take the fall, and they have lied about it ever since, never addressing that they went after the lives and families and jobs of people, which is the main issue, only ever focusing on we are being silenced, which is odd because the list really just amplified their voices. If they had anything worth saying, they were put center stage. But a right to speak isn't a right to have everyone agree or obey. Nobody should ever trust SBI. When they do one of their little speech things in a conference, in a city where everyone shares their ideology, we all know it is lies and gaslighting from the start. But they agree with him 100%. Sure, they don't like that his activism has given gamers awareness of their covert sabotage of the gaming industry, but they agree with everything he said and done. And we know this, because if he had any wrongthink, he wouldn't have been in the corporation to begin with. They agree with him trying to cancel people. They agree with his hatred of gamers. They agree with his racist and sexist statements against the groups that their religion has agreed it is okay to be discriminatory against. But they don't like the attention, and that is the sole and only reason they will not stand by him. Isn't it funny that the people who decided to silence him in the end were the leadership of Sweet Baby Inc.? People who constantly talk about elevating voices, people who are addicted to virtue signaling. Isn't it amazing that these cowardly parasites could not even stand by one of their own loyal cultists? SBI is turning over a new leaf. They reject this one bad apples attack on the gaming community. Their names are no longer on so many AAA games. It is surely over for them. No. There is no world where this is the truth. SBI will live on. Whether they call themselves Reflector and make Unknown 9 with Namco Bandai, or split into more corrupt little consulting groups, they will work in the shadows. They will join corporations as PR and HR, and they will continue to cleanse the non-believers. This is not over. The very corporate system was overridden. The positions of control were flooded with woke zealots. It is going to take decades of focused attention before even half of AAA studios are back to neutral, before artists and writers are able to create work they want, rather than have the demands of DEI and ESG hovering over them, forcing censorship, making women ugly, emasculating men, forcing men and women to be turned into Type A and Type B, changing dialogues in every remaster for modern audiences that will not play the games. They are openly hiring based on race and gender. If they get rid of the openly part, they're still going to be doing this, just not as obviously. The culture war is not about getting the left out of gaming. It seems that way now since all the entertainment industry power is leftist extremism. It is not about having entertainment shoot to the right or the left. It is to have it out of the industries. It is to return to what we had decades ago, where you could make a game without being forced by ideology behind the scenes, where you could make a sexy game like Senran Kagura, where you could make a political game if you wanted like Metal Gear Solid, where you could make a game full of straight romances, traditional men, traditional women, and not have anyone saying, you need to sexualize the men too. You need to have no sexy women in it. And you could also make the gayest game you could ever think of. By the way, this is how anime is and why it remains popular. And this is how Western entertainment was decades ago as well. Gaming was always naturally diverse with themes and ideas of every type before the woke cult got involved. And it was better. When every game has the same ideology, people grow tired of it. When legacy characters all become wokeified, it angers everyone who loved that character or game. There have always been games for everyone, and if there ever is a gap when there is not, that is an opportunity for a creator with passion to fill that gap. The activists are the ones who changed that. They tried to bully the audience into liking it. They forced systemic discrimination into the industry with things like DEI. And they silenced and harassed countless developers into silence or fully leaving the industry altogether. They have zero morality, and you cannot reason with them. Gamers love to just forget what is happening. They like to take one little win and pretend the entire thing is over because they do not want to deal with it anymore. Yes, it sucks that we have to talk about and listen to culture war nonsense. But it's far worse to just cede entirely to people who hate games, who hate gamers, and have ill intent for the entire industry. You do not want all games to be Dustborn and Concord. They, however, do. And if you let them, if you ignore what they are doing, they will absolutely make this so. I have a suggestion if you work in the game industry. You should go grab a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what might happen if you work with consulting firms, get a DEI department, or embrace the woke religion. Meanwhile, just enjoy the downfall of Sweet Baby Inc. They lashed out at everyone, and now as their little scheme fails, all they can do is crap their pants as they're held accountable and cry about it. Which, in fairness, is what babies do.